Welcome to this deep dive into creatine for women. There is a lot of noise about bloat and bulk when it comes to this supplement, and that can leave you wondering whether it's worth it. Throughout these notes, we'll unpack the fears, explain what creatine actually does, and show you how it can be a powerful tool for your training and health. If you have stepped on the scale after starting creatine and worried that you were getting puffier, you're not alone. Many women assume that creatine will make them gain weight, look swollen, or even become more masculine. The goal of this discussion is to confront those worries head on and separate fact from fiction. One of the biggest myths is that creatine causes fat gain, water bloat, or somehow masculinizes you. In reality, creatine is just an energy helper your body already uses every day. Supplementing with it moves more water into your muscle cells and helps you train harder. Any extra weight you notice is mostly water inside muscle and, over time, a little extra lean tissue from better workouts. It doesn't magically change your hormones or your femininity. Creatine is stored in your muscles as phosphocreatine. During high-intensity exercise, it donates a phosphate group to rapidly regenerate adenosine triphosphate, the energy currency of your cells. It also helps buffer acidity in working muscles. This quick energy buffer allows you to squeeze out a few more reps or push a bit harder before fatigue sets in, and that can translate into more strength in muscle over time. Having a bigger phosphocreatine battery is just as important for women as it is for men. More stored phosphocreatine means you can regenerate ATP faster during hard sets or sprints. Those extra seconds of high-quality work may seem small on their own, but across weeks and months of training, they add up to a stronger stimulus for your muscles and nervous system. Research shows that women tend to have lower total creatine stores than men because they synthesize and consume less. Even though women sometimes have slightly higher concentrations of creatine inside their muscle fibers, the overall pool is smaller. Hormones also affect how quickly creatine is synthesized and recycled throughout the menstrual cycle. Because of these factors, women may actually have more to gain from supplementing than men do. Creatine does pull water along with it, but that water goes into your muscle cells. It doesn't pull under your skin or cause a soft, puffy look. This intracellular hydration is part of how creatine works. It helps create a signal for muscle growth. The effect is modest and it shows up as fuller, more pumped muscles rather than a bloated stomach or swollen face. If your weight increases slightly when you start creatine, remember that the number on the scale isn't the whole story. Scientific studies show no increase in fat mass from creatine use. The extra weight is largely water stored inside your muscles and over time, a small increase in lean tissue from being able to train harder. For many women, these changes are minimal and temporary. Building significant muscle requires consistent training, adequate protein, sufficient calories, and genetic predisposition. Creatine supports that process by fueling your efforts, but it doesn't magically build mass on its own. The lean mass women gain with creatine tends to be modest and leads to better strength, power, and metabolism rather than a bulky physique. Lean mass is metabolically active tissue that burns more calories at rest than fat. Strong muscles support your posture, help protect your bones and joints, and make daily tasks easier. Focusing on body composition and function rather than the number on the scale is a healthier way to assess progress, especially for women who want to feel strong and capable. When women add creatine to their resistance training, they often see greater increases in strength and muscle than those who don't supplement. Studies have shown that untrained women who use creatine during a training program gain more lower body strength and fat-free mass than those on a placebo. In female soccer players, short-term creatine use led to impressive improvements in bench press and squat strength, around 18 to 24% without extra fat gain. These results highlight how creatine can enhance adaptations to training without unwanted side effects. Creatine's ability to rapidly regenerate ATP also helps you recover between bouts of high-intensity work. By buffering acidity in your muscles, it delays fatigue, so you can complete more repetitions or sprints. That extra training volume is one of the reasons creatine supports greater strength and endurance gains over time. As women approach and move through menopause, maintaining muscle and bone becomes increasingly important. Research involving postmenopausal women shows that combining creatine with resistance training leads to larger gains in muscle size and strength compared with training alone. Some studies even suggest that creatine can help slow the loss of bone mineral density when paired with exercise, supporting long-term bone health and independence. Creatine isn't just for your muscles. Emerging research suggests that it may support brain energy metabolism, mood, and cognitive function, especially under stress or when you're sleep deprived. The idea is that the brain, like muscle, uses creatine as a quick source of energy. Although these findings are still preliminary, they point to another potential advantage of supplementation. You don't need a complicated dosing strategy to benefit from creatine. Taking about 3 to 5 grams per day, or roughly a tenth of a gram per kilogram of body weight, will saturate your muscles in around 4 weeks. If you'd like to speed up the process, you can do a loading phase of roughly 20 grams per day for 5 to 7 days before dropping to a lower daily dose. Loading is optional, and the most important factor is simply taking creatine consistently. Time of day isn't critical. Pick a time that fits your routine. Loading saturates your muscles quickly because you're taking higher doses. You'll reach full creatine stores in about a week, but you might notice a bit more water weight or digestive discomfort. A maintenance-only approach, 3 to 5 grams per day, takes 3 to 4 weeks to achieve the same saturation, but is easier on the stomach and less likely to cause transient weight gain. Choose the method that best matches your timeline and tolerance. Creatine uses a sodium-dependent transporter, so it does draw water into your muscles. That's part of how it supports performance. Studies have shown that typical creatine protocols do not significantly increase total body water. The extra fluid stays inside the muscle cells. This intracellular hydration may even serve as a growth signal. Maintain normal fluid intake to support digestion and overall health, but there is no need to drastically increase your water consumption. Creatine is one of the most researched and safest supplements available. Large single doses, more than about 10 grams at once, can cause stomach upset or diarrhea in some people. If you're sensitive, split your daily intake into smaller servings. Decades of clinical studies show no harmful effects on kidney, liver, or gastrointestinal health at recommended doses. Staying hydrated and spreading out your intake will keep you comfortable. Women who lift weights or participate in high-intensity sports can benefit from the performance and recovery advantages of creatine. Peri- and post-menopausal women may find it especially helpful for maintaining muscle and bone. Vegetarians and vegans whose diets lack significant creatine often experience noticeable benefits from supplementation. Creatine may also support people dealing with heavy training loads, sleep deprivation, or demanding cognitive tasks. If you aren't doing any resistance or high-intensity exercise, creatine might not provide much benefit. People who consume a lot of meat or fish get a substantial amount of creatine through their diet and may not notice a difference. Those who are extremely sensitive to digestive upset should start with smaller amounts and increase slowly, or choose to skip supplementation altogether. Stick with creatine monohydrate. It's the form used in nearly all research and is both effective and affordable. Mix your dose with water or any beverage. Taking it with food is optional. The key is consistency. Make it part of your daily routine. Pay attention to how your body responds and adjust your intake gradually if you experience discomfort. Let's recap the common misconceptions. Creatine doesn't make women bulky because significant muscle growth still depends on training and nutrition. It doesn't increase fat. Any weight changes come from water and lean mass. It doesn't cause visible bloating. The water is stored inside your muscle cells, and any digestive issues are generally the result of taking large single doses and can be avoided by splitting your intake. Creatine will not cause fat gain. The small weight changes you might see reflect water entering your muscles and, over time, new lean tissue. Fears about bloat are largely unfounded. The water is stored inside muscle, not under your skin. For women, creatine offers significant benefits: increased strength, more lean mass, better recovery, and potential support for healthy aging. A daily dose of about 3 to 5 grams taken consistently is all you need to see results. To wrap up, creatine is an energy buffer that helps you train harder and recover faster. Women tend to have lower total creatine stores than men and often underuse this supplement despite standing to gain more. Any weight gain you notice comes from water in your muscles and lean tissue, not fat. A consistent daily dose of around 3 to 5 grams is enough to saturate your muscles. Loading is optional. Stay hydrated and combine creatine with resistance training for the best results.